Turn to Mark Rippon. They're headed toward their worst season in 32 years, and they put Rippon back in charge.
Well, Mark Rippon knows that he is not in the long-term plans of Richie Pettibone and the Redskins. In fact, he's looking at this game as an audition. But what Rippon does that Gannon doesn't do is, first of all, he can throw deep. They have not had a deep game. Secondly, he's got a great feel for this offense. Look for a lot of audibles and look for a lot of changes at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Matt, we heard you in the pregame show say that the Falcons wanted to get off early. They will have the ball first, and they have never won here at RFK, including a playoff loss in '91 and 8 regular season games. They want to score first, pile up some points early, and try to discourage the slumping Redskins. Tony Smith returning it to the 18-yard line, and James Jenkins making the tackle for the Redskins. Bobby Hebert having an outstanding season for Atlanta, passing at 63%, 22 touchdowns, his best ever in that category, has this line in front of him. Ken, Kennedy, Dukes, Hinton, and Whitfield perhaps playing as well as any offensive line in the league. Eric Pegram, the starter at running back, has more than 800 yards. Rise and Hill, Pritchard, and Haynes in their so-called red gun 4-wide receiver offense. Pegram, 928 yards rushing on the season. And the numbers on Bobby Hebert impressive. This is Pegram trying off tackle left. Got a couple. Stopped by the linebacker Kurt Gouveia, number 54. Defensively, the Redskins have a couple of guys returning from injuries. They have been struck by injuries in key places all year. Collins and Bobby Wilson. Shane Collins and Bobby Wilson returning to the defensive line. Out today is Carl Banks with a groin injury. Monty Coleman, who figured to play more against the red gun anyway, will start there. Green, Edwards, Copeland, and the return of rookie Tom Carter to the left corner position following a shoulder injury. On second down, along 7. It is almost picked off on a deflection. Risen couldn't hold on to the pass, a little behind him. And Darrell Green had a shot at the deflection.
Well, you know, last week we had Deion Sanders and Jerry Rice, and this week you're getting a comparable matchup. Andre Rison and Darrell Green. People in football think that Darrell Green is having his absolute best year. And that's saying a lot. Now, Green's been all-pro a few times. Last year he had a broken arm. He's come back, and this year he has played better than anybody has seen him play, including Richie Pettibone, who's been his position coach for a long time.
Redskins send in Al Noga to pass rush, and Alvoid Mays and A.J. Johnson into the secondary on 3rd and 8. Hebert to Pritchard, and he's hit immediately. Mike Pritchard nowhere to go. Carter and Coleman on the tackle. No gain.
That's that matchup defense that the Redskins have run against Atlanta successfully the whole time they've employed the red gun offense. And what that consists of is really reading patterns. And it's tough for a rookie like Carter to get out there and have to read everything first time out. So far, grade him high mark on the first time tested.
Harold Alexander, the rookie punter. An average of 43.9 on the season. Brian Mitchell is back to receive at the 35 of Washington. Good punt. Backs Mitchell up to the 32. He dropped the fair catch, recovered by Atlanta. Charles Washington, number 46. Mitchell was a little late in getting the hand up, as though his decision was made at the last second.
Well, Tim, that play was made by Elbert Shelley. Elbert Shelley ran right by Brian Mitchell and flashed him. Watch 37 come by. Watch him duck right at the last second. Actually, that is illegal. He has got to give him 3 yards to make that, and he did not give it to him. He watched right again. He'll duck right in front of him. See that? He's got to give him room. He gave him room to make the catch, but he distracted him.
Well, Matt, the only thing I would say is that was a very late fair catch signal, and I think the officials may have felt that Shelley didn't have a chance to do anything else. Mitchell was very slow making his decision. It is first down Atlanta at the 31-yard line. An early miscue by the Redskins. Broussard getting his first carry of the game. They got him in against San Francisco last week, and he played well. He picks up 2 here.
For the Atlanta Falcons to really take control of this game, the first quarter is going to be big. They feel that if they can jump on them early and get the Redskins down, that the Redskins will almost give up. Now, I know Richie Pettibone will never admit that a team can quit on him, but in situations like this, when you've not had success all season long, things go wrong, you have a tendency as a player to start thinking, uh-oh, here they go again.
Mitch Lyons has come in for the Atlanta Falcons, setting up on the wing right. Number 86, Broussard remains the running back. Play action with a flag in the air to the end zone. Touchdown, Pritchard. Now let's wait on the call. A flag before the pass.
There's no penalty on the play. Number 55 reported eligible. Touchdown.
Larry Nemmer saying that they had reported incorrectly.
You're going to watch the zone, and the safety bites underneath, and that allows Pritchard to get behind him. Nobody makes a play on the ball other than Pritchard. Copeland goes in front, never sees the ball, doesn't make a play. That was made possible, though, by great line blocking up front. Hebert had all kinds of time to throw that ball.
Norm Johnson, perfect on the season in points after, will try to make it the 7-0 game. Mike Pritchard, who plays in the shadow of Andre Rison and Michael Haynes, is having himself an outstanding year, coming in with 57 catches and now has a touchdown and a 7-0 Atlanta lead. And Atlanta took advantage with a 29-yard strike. Hebert to Mike Pritchard. Johnson's kickoff, high and short. Fielded by Mitchell at the 15. And he is driven back. So Washington's first offensive possession. Ripping the quarterback. Ricky Urban's getting the start today for Reggie Brooks. Second down and 9 to go. Urban's again stuffed right on the corner, and Deion Sanders came up to get in on the tackle, along with Darian Connor, the linebacker, number 56. Defensively, Lester Archambault and Mel Agee, who have come in to fill in for the injured Rick Bryan and Mike Gannon, done a fine job with Gardner and Holt. Connor has reclaimed his spot on the right linebacking corner with the injury to Ron George today. And two rookies in the secondary, Roger Harper and Darnell Walker, joining Case and Sanders. Third down and 8. Washington at their own 18. Ernest Biner in the backfield. Rippin too high for Desmond Howard. And Washington will have to punt. Desmond Howard, the number 1 pick in '92, the Heisman Trophy winner, and Vinnie Clark with the coverage on him, but Rippin just sailed that one out of bounds. Reggie Roby has been the best weapon the Redskins have had all season long. Number 1 in the conference with 60 punts and averaging 45 yards a hit.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that's got to be the biggest punter of all time. He weighs 265 pounds and gets every ounce of it into the kick.
Well,
this one he squibs.
That's not his best. He gets a good bounce and it then grounded at the 40-yard line by Clark. And Atlanta, after the 42-yard punt by Roby, a good field position at their own 40. Hebert out for Pegram out of the backfield. Juggled and then held on, turned it into a 9-yard gain. Darrell Green on the tackle.
Eric Pegram is one of those players who he doesn't care how he gets the football, he just wants it in his hand. They found out that Pegram is a better inside than outside runner. Last week against the 49ers and today
55 reports eligible.
Can you hear me?
All right, it is 2nd and 2 as we work on our audio situation here. Mike Ruther has come in as an extra blocker on the short yardage, and diving forward for the first down is Broussard. Steve Broussard gives Atlanta another first down to the 48-yard line. Houston, an early 14-0 lead over the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
I'm on the spare right now.
New England and Cleveland are scoreless in the first. First down at midfield for Atlanta. There's Jerry Glanville, the Falcons coach, and was careful to say that Washington's still a dangerous team, playing better than their record indicates. And that was his approach to his team. coming into this game. A huge hole for Broussard. Another Atlanta first down to the 34-yard line of Washington.
Well, the biggest problem the Redskins have had in the last 5 games is stopping the run. And it's easy to see why. Watch right in the middle of the offensive line. Look at this. Come right up in the middle. Big hole. Nice job by Jamie Dukes, the center, and Hinton, Kennedy. Take everybody out and allow Broussard lots of running room. You can see it's just been all downhill ever since the last 4 games. The Washington Redskins have not been able to stop the run.
155 yards by Johnny Johnson of the Jets last week. First down, Atlanta driving again. Early movement. Looked like the Falcons were offside.
False start, number 78 offense, 5 yards, still first down.
That's a rare miscue for Mike Ken. The Washington Redskins staff has tons of respect for Mike Ken. In fact, they look back on the film. As long as this defensive staff has been there, they cannot remember a sack being given up by Mike Ken. That goes back to Dexter Manley and all the people who've been there, the great pass rushers. They've tried to blitz him. They've tried to power him, work inside, work outside. He's not giving up a sack against the Redskins at all.
37 years old from Michigan, the #1 pick way back in '78. And this entire Atlanta offensive line has played awfully well the last 10 weeks. Hebert is sacked. Sterling Palmer, the rookie from Florida State.
Well, that's a mistake. And they kept Drew Hill in there to try to slow down Sterling Palmer. Whitfield is down. Palmer lines up right on the outside right here. You see him right here? And he's going to come down right around the corner, and they're going to expect Hill to block him. Now, you can't do that. You cannot expect a wide receiver to block a 260-pound defensive end.
2nd and 22 for Atlanta. Screen for Pritchard. And Pritchard, the former college running back, runs well down inside the 35. Stopped by Monty Coleman. And that'll leave 3rd and 10.
Well, it's good you said he runs well after the catch, because when I asked Mike Pritchard last night, what does he do well? He said, hey, I'm really a running back. And I'm just learning this wide receiver thing. I've only been a receiver for 3 years. He said, I run well once I got the ball in my hands. And that's why he's so effective in the underneath game. All it is just a long handoff for Mike Pritchard and make him most effective in the open field.
He's got the only touchdown so far, 29 yards from Bobby Hebert. 3rd down and 10. Pegram. And Pegram takes a good hit from Tim Johnson right at the line of scrimmage. Scrambled for a couple, but it'll be 4th down.
Well, Tim Johnson, when he whacks you, boy, you feel it. You know, 285 pounds, and he's put that big old headbutt right on you. You know, we've said the 3 times that we've had the Redskin games, we've said that Tim Johnson has been the most consistent up front. They still feel that if Charles Mann is healthy, he's the most talented, but he's not the most productive. Tim Johnson has been the most productive.
Johnson will attempt the field goal just inside the 41-yard line. It'll be a 50-yard attempt unofficially. And they've whistled the play dead prior to the kick. There were flags down.
Before the ball was snapped, we had a delay of game on the offense. 5 yards, still 4th down.
Putting 5 seconds back onto the clock, which shows 6:13 to go here in the first quarter. And there is Mitchell waiting for the punt at the 10-yard line. Mitchell, the victim on the punt that he misplayed after the fair catch signal, muffing the ball, and the Falcons recovered to set up the score. Hebert to Pritchard. Alexander, the rookie punter, at 22, the youngest punter in the league, standing at his own 47. And hits from the 49 of Washington. And it got away from Charles Washington into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. After returning from his knee injury, has thrown just 1 pass so far today, incomplete. And Atlanta has had the ball for 7:29 so far of this first quarter. Sanders and Desmond Howard, the wide receivers. Play action fake to Irvins, and the pass complete to Sanders. Ricky Sanders, first down, Washington, to the 46-yard line of the Redskins.
And they're going with the hurry-up offense right there. And, you know, 2 plays in a row is exactly, this is what Mark Rypien can do, which Rich Gannon hasn't been able to do. First, they came up with a big pass play because Rypien audibled at the line of scrimmage. He understands the offense, understands the scheme, knows how to attack the defense. Now they go with the no huddle in an effort to keep the defensive players, same scheme, up there and start taking advantage of it.
Ricky Sanders in motion. And Irvins hit in the backfield. Jesse Tuggle leading the charge. Tuggle victimized on the pass to Sanders. This time was all over Ricky Irvins.
Yeah, and right at the bottom of the pile, Lester Archambault. Tim and I have been we've been very lucky to watch the whole thing happen with this Atlanta defense. From the beginning of the season till now, there's been a couple of players who have really stepped up. Lester Archambault has been a huge part of that.
Acquired in a trade from Green Bay, essentially as a backup, but with injuries to Rick Bryan and Tim Green. He's the starter and playing well. Rypien going deep for Sanders, overthrows everybody, and he had double coverage on him with Vinnie Clark and Scott Case.
You can see when they started 0-5 at the start of the season, and they were giving up all kinds of yards, had few takeaways and no sacks. I mean, virtually won a game. And since they've gone on that roll with 6-2, there have been some people who've really contributed. Everyone's been talking about Deion Sanders, but the 2 down people, Lester Archambault being one of them, has really been a big part of that.
3rd down, 11. Ernest Biner on a little shovel, close to the first down. Looks like he'll be about a yard short. A nice looking play by the Redskins. And the punting unit coming on as they'll have 4th and about a yard. Reggie Roby standing at his 39. And Tony Smith back at the Falcon 10. Smith having an outstanding return year, particularly in the kickoff department. And Roby elevates that one. Fair catch signal by Smith inside his 10. He's not happy with himself. They'll start from the 7. And Lions with Mike Ruther as an extra blocker. Number 55, the backup center. Broussard runs hard inside and picks up about 7. Kurt Gouveia tripped him up. Steve Broussard, the 4-year man from Washington State, been kind of a missing offensive player this year for Atlanta. Number 1 pick in 1990, has never cemented the job as the starting running back that they had planned for him. They've used him more at wide receiver this year, but he played effectively last week against the Niners.
Because he's got the speed to get outside. Jerry Glanville says he needs a back who can love to get outside, and he said the only thing that stops Broussard from keeping on going outside is the sideline.
Hebert, 4 or 5 in the passing department, stays with Broussard, and Broussard gets out to the 20. He'll have a first down.
Yeah, and so Jerry Glanville tells us what a great outside runner he is. So what does he do? He sends him right into the middle of the line.
Bob Whitfield, as you can see, number 70, has returned. He missed only 1 play following his mild knee injury. Broussard again. And Broussard stacked up by Charles Mann on top, and down below, Tim Johnson with help from Andre Collins. Not much on that one, maybe a yard. Tim Johnson, we were talking about earlier how steady he's been. I guess one reason is that he's been one of the few linemen, offensively or defensively, to stay healthy. He's got a great attitude. He said, you know, people say you're doing a great job, and I look at the films and I think I'm doing a lot of things incorrectly. Sometimes I'm trying to do too much and I get all of us in trouble, but he's hard on himself because he has been the steadying force defensively for Washington. Play action, and Hebert eludes the rush. Now goes out to Mitch Lyons, and it's incomplete as he fielded it. Lyons, a release man. But another sample of Hebert's just tremendous poise in the pocket, avoiding the sack, making a play. Even if it's an incompletion, that's better than the loss.
Well, you know, there's something to be said for experience, and there's something to be said for presence. And Bobby Hebert has that presence. 21, Deion Sanders also has presence. And the way you measure that is how a defense reacts to you when you walk on the field. Deion Sanders walks on the field, he's going to draw the coverage.
He's in on offense.
Yeah, when Bobby Hebert is back there in the pocket, everybody understands that he can get the job done.
3rd and 9. Sanders now in at wide receiver. Hebert hangs in there and finds Haynes, but it's off the mark, incomplete.
You know, I talk about the presence. Watch Deion Sanders going to come down. Now, you know, everybody knows who's that. Watch Monty Coleman get the push back underneath, keep him in, and then the zone behind him, so you get as many hands on Sanders as possible, because Bobby Hebert was looking at Sanders.
Niners got a little help from one of the officials there. It may have been that Hebert thought he was going to wind up hitting a striped shirt instead of Sanders. Alexander's punt, short. And then rolls over the 45, down at the 44 by Atlanta. 1:29 left in the first quarter. Mark Rypien has returned to be the quarterback this afternoon for Washington. Ricky Irvins gets a couple.
Run right into the middle of that defensive line. You know, we talked about the people who've made a difference up front. Lester Archambault, Mel Agee is the other one on the other side, and this man, Jumpy Gathers, 97 in the middle of that defense. Jumpy gives this defensive line something they've not had in a long time, and that's size and strength in the middle.
Only a yard given to the Redskins on the first play of the series. Rypien out of the backfield to Irvins, and Irvins is bounced from behind and knocked forward.
Heck, that was a good tackle by Ray Brown. His offensive guard, Ray Brown, come up from behind and knocked him for 3 more yards.
And the Redskins stay in the hurry up here. Part of their game plan today. In the early part of the game, they have a 3rd and 2 with time winding down first quarter. Miner in the backfield now. Rypien with a little roll. Now going deep for Ricky Sanders. Just overthrows. Scott Case and Darnell Walker with the coverage. Sanders had them beat, and the pass just a little off target.
Well, when Mark Rypien has been off throwing the football throughout his whole career, it's always been too high. And I don't know mechanically why that happens, or is it just a feel? I don't know. But again, today, he's had a couple of people open, and he's just thrown the ball too high and too far.
So once again, Reggie Roby is the weapon, trying to pin Atlanta deep in their own end. Low snap fielded by Roby. Fair catch signal by Tony Smith. And that one down by the Redskins at about the 17-yard line. Today, Ricky Irvin's getting the start. Brooks is available, but of course our best wishes go out to Reggie and his family, and hope for recovery of his father soon. Steve Broussard takes it out the right side for Atlanta on first down. Picks up about 2. Gouveia and Coleman combine on the stop.
The reason that the Falcons have been running is right here. Number 75, Chris Hinton. Now, in the beginning of the season, Hinton came out and his legs were not under him. He missed training camp. He wasn't playing real well. And then about week 5, Chris Hinton's legs got under him, and he has been on a tear. And I don't think I've seen a guard all the way back to John Hanna dominate some people like Chris Hinton's dominated.
Atlanta with a 2nd and 8. The 20-yard line. Hebert slipped a minute and then recovers and gets the pass complete to Michael Haynes, and he picks up 5.
And again, he was allowed to have some pressure, Bobby Hebert. I mean, allowed to have some time in the pocket. Now, Bobby Hebert is a pocket passer. Look up here, Chris Hinton on Bobby Wilson. There's nobody there. Now that gives him the pocket, allows him to step up and find the receiver.
Number 55 reports eligible for Atlanta. 55 is eligible.
Larry Nimmers, the referee, is going to be real busy making that announcement today because the Falcons had brought in that center, Mike Ruther, lined him up as a blocking tight end. And because of his number, he has to report in and the referee has to announce it. Broussard jumps through and will be very close to the first down. In fact, he's got it. And they move the sticks. So Steve Broussard running well in the early going for Atlanta.
They use those great feet in the hole and the quickness. And again, whenever they're going to need yardage, they're going to go behind the right side of that offensive line. Broussard just finds number 75, gets behind him, and makes the first down.
37 yards on 8 carries for Broussard. We're just underway in the second quarter. There is Eric Pegram, who has nearly 1,000 yards rushing, but Broussard's been the guy in this first quarter. Broussard trying to get wide, and he does. Picks up about 7. Flag on the play as Monty Coleman made the tackle for the Redskins.
Holding, number 86 during the run. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
Well, they caught Mitch Lyons in a hole on the right side. Again, you're going to see him right here, number 86, Mitch Lyons. Broussard will start up inside, then bounce. See the hold right out there. Actually, not a very good hold on Monty Coleman. Broussard will set you up to the outside by starting inside. Once you commit defensively to stopping the inside gap, they take it away by him bouncing outside.
Sterling Palmer comes in to replace Shane Collins at right defensive end, Washington. 1st and 20. Pegram on a little shovel pass. Lines up.
That looked like Panic City for Bobby. They were going to let somebody come clean underneath. If somebody happened to be Tim Johnson. Tim Johnson comes clean. Look, it comes right up. And Hebert just is in panic mode and flips it back underneath to Pegram.
But again, it's such good presence on Hebert's part. He just sees everything out there, knows where everybody is. So if the play breaks down, he still has that great presence of mind to make a play. 2nd and 12. 4 wide receivers. Pritchard, and the flanker screen, not much. Well played by the Redskins.
Yeah, well played by Tim Johnson. And that's what a good defensive lineman will do. Now, once you see the play going away from you, you stop right inside. He's going to be lined up right inside. He's going to stop and then come back outside. The mark of a good defensive line is getting to the ball. Watch how they turn and run to the football. That's a nice job by Andre Collins. He misses the tackle, but he turns it back inside, and that allows Tim Johnson to come up and lower the boom on him.
What a great attitude he has, too. He says, I'll never look back at this season as a year in vain. I've learned things I couldn't have learned in a successful year, things about life. Deion Sanders is in the offense again on 3rd and 11 Atlanta. Hebert is going to get sacked by Coleman. .36-year-old Monty Coleman.
Well, that's one of those zone blitzes. They bring 51 Monty Coleman off the top. You can see him come right around the corner. Too many people, nobody picks him up. Now, behind that blitz generally is usually man coverage when you blitz somebody, but the Redskins, they went with the zone and brought the corner, the outside backer.
High snap into the end zone. Redskins don't realize it. Alexander's going to lie down in there for a safety. He had time to get up and punt it.
That's a rookie mistake. Didn't have the presence of mind to go get the ball as it's laying in the end zone and still kick it. They give up the safety, and we'll be back 7-2 Atlanta.
Now, Harold Alexander was not aware that the Redskins weren't coming, so he didn't want to give up a touchdown in the end zone. He covered the ball. The Redskins, for their part, didn't react to the high snap quickly enough.
Yeah, well, the ball goes over his head. The Redskins had a return on. Nobody's rushing. There's nobody even in the picture. Alexander doesn't realize it until now. And he sees first the official, and then 56 Hamilton comes up.
So both teams making a miscue on the play, but it results in 2 points. And the punt following the safety by Atlanta. Brian Mitchell returning. And a good return to the 36-yard line. Hit by Ken Tippins there.
That was a good hit by Ken Tippins at the end of that. Brian Mitchell starts up inside, and then he squares his shoulder. And what he does well is once he makes his mind up, he turns it on. Watch how he'll start inside and now break it outside. You try to draw the coverage inside. Nice block by Monty Coleman. Nice block by James Jenkins. And a great hit at the end by Ken Tippins. Boy, I like to see that.
20-yard return by Brian Mitchell. First down at their 36 for Washington. 10-10 remaining first half. They trail 7-2. Ricky Irvins over the 40-yard line, picks up 5.
They try that inside running. Now, the Tim Johnson of the offense for the Washington Redskins has been Raleigh McKenzie. Raleigh McKenzie has been the one guy who stood the test of time. He showed up week in and week out. Not a tremendous run blocker, a very good pass blocker, but most important, and the coaching staff of the Redskins say this, you cannot put a price tag on a guy who's there every week.
2nd and 5 Redskins. Good protection for Rippon. Rippon out the left side for Desmond Howard, and he has it. First down, Washington. Scott Case on the coverage.
Well, a lot has been said about Desmond Howard, how he's been a bust, how he hasn't been able to run away from people. You know, and Desmond Howard says, look, just throw me the ball. Give me a chance to make a catch. Then see if I'm a bust, see if I can't run away from people. Now, a lot of the things you talk about Howard is he doesn't have the great speed that they thought he would have coming out of college. But what he does have is a burst. And what a burst will give you is separation at the end of the play, and that's what separates good receivers.
They have a first down at the Atlanta 36. Little roll to the right. Art Monk hit immediately. Very little gain. And now for an NFL update, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Tim, at County Stadium in Milwaukee, the Vikings and the Packers. Jim McMahon to Kadri Ismail, who gets off the ground in the end zone to catch the 6-yard pass. 7-3, Minnesota, second quarter. Tim and Matthew, back to you.
Well, that's a big game for the Green Bay Packers. Both of them, obviously. The Vikings trying to stay alive. Green Bay considered the favorite now in that Central Division to win it. Of course, the Lions have other ideas. 2nd and 8. Washington inside the 35-yard line of Atlanta. Trailing 7-2. The blitz is on. Rippon just got it away. And it is incomplete. Flag is thrown. There'll be interference called on Clark. It was intended for Howard.
They're going to call it because Clark never looked back to the ball. He played the receiver. He didn't play the ball.
Vinnie Clark, who got the start on the corner today ahead of the rookie Darnell Walker. And I know Scott Case claiming that he never touched him.
Defensive pass interference, number 27, first down.
Watch the ball, because you're going to see 27 Clark never turns his head. See that? Howard tries to come back for the catch. It's hard to see if there's any contact, but the official was right on top of it, so we'll give the official the benefit of the doubt.
So the Redskins inside the 10-yard line, trailing by 5. Quick flare. Desmond Howard hit hard at the 5. Roger Harper, the rookie safety.
But most important, Mark Rippon knows he's going to get the ball into Howard's hands, and that will make a difference with Howard. Now, like he said, all he wants is a chance to make a play. Now you got a quarterback who's not afraid to go with him. We'll see what he can do.
2nd and goal, right at the 5-yard line. Washington threatening. Little flare out for Ricky Irvins. Irvins rolling to the end zone is stopped short. First hit by Vinnie Clark. Jesse Solomon getting in on it. And they'll spot it just outside the 1.
Well, they had Monk and Howard on the right side. and they're just going to try to clear out in that zone.
Number 62 reports eligible. Number 62 reports eligible.
You can hear number 62, he's reporting eligible, but Desmond Howard was wide open. And the reason he gets all upset is because he knows he has a quarterback who's going to try to throw him the football.
Daryl Moore is number 62. Wycheck coming in as a blocker. Mitchell, the setback. They give it to him. He's tripped up and stopped short. Scott Case slicing in to trip him up.
And that's one of Jerry Glanville's trained assassins, he says, Scott Case. Scott Case knows how to play the game. Scott Case is a better football player the closer you get to the end zone because that field shrinks and he doesn't have to use the range, which he really doesn't have great range, but he has a great feel for inside football.
4th and a yard. Redskins are going for it. Crowd into it. 2 tight ends to block. Mitchell stopped.
Nice shot.
Jesse Tuggle. Flag on the play. And the Atlanta Falcons come up big on 4th down. Let's see what the call is. Tuggle, who has gotten better and better as the season has gone on after a slow start.
That's going to be against Atlanta.
We have a 5-yard face mask penalty against the defensive team. We'll go half the distance to the goal. Still 4th down.
They get another shot. Jesse Tuggle comes over the top. Now he puts a shot on him, but his hand is going to get right on Mitchell's face mask. Watch the hit. Boom, that's beautiful work. Right in the hole. Now you got to bench press him off. You see his hand at the top. Right up there. See that right on his face? That'll give him another chance. With the Washington Redskins, when they come out in that set and they go with that little short motion by the fullback, that's automatically telling you where the ball's going to go. That's a good job of Tuggle reading that and hitting it.
Correction. The face mask penalty was a major penalty against the defense. Automatic 1st down.
Whoa, boy, what a difference. What a difference. Now remember, the terminology is grasping for the minor penalty, if you will. It's 5 yards, and you don't get the automatic 1st down. When you grab the face mask and hold on, which was the ruling here, it is a 1st and goal. Rippon still with the ball. He'll run it in. Touchdown. Another flag down.
They're going to call Ron Middleton.
Number 32. The penalty is refused. Touchdown.
Yeah, they're going to say Ron Middleton. Well, I thought they were going to call for going out there and blocking before because he's supposed to be a pass receiver. But what he does is he makes the good transition outside and gets the block, which allows Rippon. Watch the fake over the top. That draws everybody inside. Now watch right here. On Eaton, I thought it was going to go either way, but it's a good job of Middleton coming back and making the block.
Yeah, they actually called it on Eaton for grabbing Middleton. So the touchdown counts. Chip Lohmiller for the point after. And the Redskins have taken the lead.
Very good job of turning your rear end to the hole. And now the transition game of Middleton with the block, and it's 6 points. Well done.
So the Redskins get a spark from Mark Rippon. He's reclaimed the starting job. Rich Gannon coming back following his knee injury. 64 yards and 7 plays for the score. Jason Phillips returning the kickoff and not very far to the 15-yard line. Hit there by Lamont Hollenquist, the rookie linebacker.
Right there, that is a case of Hollenquist using nothing but pure speed to outrun the blockers and make the play.
The rookie from USC drafted in the 8th round, and I think he's going to be a fine linebacker in the years ahead here in Washington. 1st down, Atlanta at their own 15-yard line. Trailing now 9-7. Hebert hit just as he released it. It's incomplete. And it was Charles Mann.
And those two have met quite often. Charles Mann and Bobby Hebert. Now, Charles Mann, really, at this point in his career, his knees are shot. I mean, I talked to him, you know, he says if he puts his knees out and rests them, like if he's sitting at a table or something, that it takes him 5 minutes to straighten him back out because it just hurts so much. He's out there on guts. He'd like to come back and play again because he doesn't want to finish his career with a season like this.
A lot of pride invested here by these veteran Redskin players in every game in this losing season. Richie Pettibone says that's what's at stake for us in this game and the remaining ones. Hebert for Haynes. It is complete at the 35-yard line, pushed out by Tom Carter. First down, Atlanta.
Well, they went with a blitz. Watch the two inside guys come, and then they man up behind him. Nice job by Pegram picking it up. Collins gets picked up. Now have the presence to roll, but still look downfield. And a good job by Haynes coming back to the football to make the catch.
18-yard gain. Atlanta out to their 35-yard line.
Oh, there's a surprise. Miami jumping up on Buffalo fast. There's a bigger one. Houston and Pittsburgh. That's in Pittsburgh. Houston does not play well on the road, but looks like they're playing well today on the road.
They're playing well everywhere in this last 8 weeks. Screen for Pegram. Washington looking for that, and they play it well. Monty Coleman, a great veteran linebacker, making the tackle. That's a play that the Falcons have had a lot of success with the last month.
Yeah, and that's a player the Washington Redskins have had a lot of success with for the last 15 years. I am just amazed at Monty Coleman. It is 15 years. The guy comes in here, and he runs better than probably any linebacker on the team. They would like for him to come back again for a 16th year because what he does in coverage and allows them to do with blitzing, very few people can do. My hat goes off to the guy. Great condition and a great player for a long time.
2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line of Atlanta out of the shotgun. Pressure again on Hebert. Gets it off to Pritchard. Pritchard eludes one tackle, but 2 more Redskins arrive to hold him to a gain of 7. Copeland on the hit. Gouveia showing blitz. He doesn't come, but they bring Coleman, and Coleman, the loose ball, still loose, now picked up by the Redskins. It's still loose. Finally a whistle comes. Let's see who's got it. Coleman made the play on Hebert. And it is Atlanta ball. Washington had 2 good shots at the loose ball. But the Falcons have come up with it. Monty Coleman found an opening. His 2nd sack of Hebert.
Well, we talked about his speed and we talked about his ability to blitz. Watch him not quit. Then has the presence to slap the ball away, and then it's a free-for-all. Actually, this ball should have been recovered again by Coleman, but he wants to turn it to a running back right here and messes it up. Tries to hand it off to Charles. That's like the Keystone Cops right there.
Got Coleman and Charles Mann. I'm not sure if either of them will be on the Hams team. So they wound up giving the ball back to Atlanta, and they will punt. Alexander, oh, he booms one. Harold Alexander backs Mitchell up to the 15. Returning to the 23-yard line, hit by Roger Harper, and a flag down after the play was whistled dead. 54-yard punt for the rookie Alexander.
There's another flag.
Well, you don't have to worry about the Washington Redskins folding their tents. There's a lot of intensity out here despite their record. Richie Pettibone said with some pride that they were playing for pride. Great championship tradition, winning records here in Washington. A lot of the fans have become a little fickle, which is no surprise. They're used to winning, and they haven't been as supportive of this team as the players and management would like to see. But with more than 8,000 no-shows in their last home game, but this is a proud football team and a proud organization. 22-4 from 1990 to 1992. They're used to seeing them win here. Well, this is a real caucus going down.
We have holding on number 26 during the run back.
That's Copeland.
We have unnecessary roughness against number 56, 53 during the dead ball. That's a double foul. After change of possession, the ball will be put in play. 1st and 10 at the end of the run.
Okay, Dwayne Gordon is the Falcon who is charged with the crime. Reserve linebacker on the special teams. So Washington will have it at their 23-yard line. And we have 2:51 to play in the first half. A 2-point Redskin lead. And that 2-point differential, the safety on the high snap by the Falcons over the head of punter Alexander. Ripping it. And that shuffle pass almost picked up. Ricky Irvins wrapped up immediately by the former Redskin Jumpy Geathers, number 97. Nearly had a shot at the ball.
Hey, you see, look at Jumpy Gathers picking up Ricky Irvins. I mean, it looks like there's 2 Ricky Irvins to every 1 Jumpy Gathers. Look at that. Now, he's not going to throw him because that's his buddy. But he just actually protects him and doesn't let him get thrown down.
2nd and 10. No gain on it. They try it again. Same play. This one goes for about 5. Case and Harper that time on the tackle. Timeout called with 2:06 remaining in the half.
Mo Eluanibi had a chance to really show what he could do. He comes out the first game against Dallas and they awarded him the game ball. And in the words of the coaching staff, it's been downhill since. Matter of fact, last week in his game against the Jets, I don't think I've seen a tackle play that bad. And they've been on him all week long, and so far he's played pretty good.
Number 3 pick in 1990 out of BYU. 3rd down, long 5. Oh, what a hit on Monk by Scott Case. Took his helmet right off. Scott Case absolutely crunched Art Monk. Rippon had the ball right there for Monk, but there was no way he could hold on with that collision.
Well, he ran him right into the middle where Case is sitting there just waiting for him, and he just got drilled. Watch Scott Case. He reads it right from the start from that zone. I mean, he just puts his hat on hat and just drills it.
Well, Monk, fortunately, is all right. Scott Case with a heavy-duty hit, and Washington will punt. 2:01 left, and Atlanta should have some decent field position here for the final 2 minutes of the half. Tony Smith awaiting Roby's punt. Smith at the 26-yard line. Ball comes down at the 37-yard line, goes out of bounds. And Atlanta will start from there after a 37-yard punt as Monk gets a little attention here. 1:53 to go. So Atlanta will have a first down at their 36-yard line. They have 1:53 left to make something happen here. Trailing by 2 in this all-important game. They must win all 3 of their remaining games for a chance at the playoffs. Should they do that, they have a very good chance of getting in. Lots of time for Hebert. He's got Michael Haynes too high. Haynes took a shot from Alvoid Mays, but the ball was too high from Hebert, and he knows it.
Well, he tried to throw the ball over there to Haynes, but the thing that's just amazed me, in the first half, you have one of the best receivers in the game. Andre Rison has not caught a ball. And you see him going down, and right on top of him is Green, and then the safety coming over the top. And you can see Andre Rison with nothing. Pritchard underneath working the zone with 5. Haynes has 2, so not a good day right now, or a good job of Hebert getting the ball to the wide receivers, which speaks well to that Washington defense taking them away.
And they've been applying some pressure as well with the blitzing. That's complete out to Haynes. Haynes trying to get to the marker for the first down, and he'll be close. Carter made the tackle. Tom Carter back from a shoulder injury. And they spotted at the 46-yard line. It'll be third down and about a half yard. Hebert, that's complete to Pritchard. First down, Atlanta, out of bounds. Clock stopped at 1:14. Carter and Mays combined to push him out. Yeah, he likes the look of that end zone. Hurt his shoulder late in the 49er game last week and came up the winning touchdown. And there's Rison's first catch. Picks up 7. Hit immediately by A.J. Johnson, the nickelback, number 47.
Yeah, good job by Johnson and Green keeping him in bounds, letting the clock keep running.
Under a minute we go. The ball at the 36-yard line of Washington. Falcons ready with a play. They have one timeout remaining. And Hebert miscue there with Rison. That stops the clock with 43 seconds left.
Actually, that's a pretty good job by Hebert.
Third and a yard, 43 seconds left. Broussard, and Broussard has the first down. He just needed to get to that 35-yard line. And the clock stopped with 35. Now it's counting. Redskins changing up their defense with an Atlanta first down.
That's
get Pogue on the field.
Yeah, that's a poor job by the Falcon offensive line getting back and ready to play.
And Hebert stops it with 21 seconds left. And maybe Dion is just lobbying, standing next to Glanville, hoping he'll get set in. Second and 10. And it's picked off by Johnson. A.J. Johnson.
It's a foot race. He's going to win it. That's touchdown, A.J. Johnson. A.J. Johnson knew that they had to try to get out of bounds with Pritchard. Watch him break underneath. Read perfectly. Nice break on the ball. 66 yards later, 69 yards later, it's a touchdown. And it looks like he pulled up there. May have hurt his hamstring.
A.J. Johnson, the nickelback, seeing that one, reading it perfectly. And the Redskins have widened their lead here with 9 seconds left in the half. Miller. 16-7. Redskin lead. First interception of the game. A costly one for Atlanta.
Yeah, well, watch him right here. He's matched up on Pritchard, and he's going to read Pritchard breaking to the outside to keep the safety over the top. Now he makes the read. Nice break on the ball. He breaks before Pritchard can make any kind of a difference. And then it's right down the sideline, 69 yards. Now watch at the end. You're going to see him start to pull up right there. Looked like he may have got a little tweak in his hamstring.
Johnson's first interception of the year. He's had some starting duties when Carter was hurt, dividing those with Alvoid Mays. He started part of the year last year, and a valuable nickelback. Comes up with a big play.
Well, what they've always liked about A.J. Johnson is his ability to make a big play. They love him in special teams for that, and they like him on defense in a limited role. They don't think he can start all the time because he gets worn down, but he has the ability to come up with a big play, so they put him in on nickel and dime packages.
Deion Sanders is on the kickoff return team here now with Pegram and Tony Smith. 9 seconds left in the half. There's Sanders standing at the 10-yard line. It's hard to imagine another defensive back in the history of this league who's had the impact on a team that Sanders does. In fact, when you just consider defensive players of any kind, I guess Lawrence Taylor would get some votes. Great Giants linebacker. Luther fields that rather well and then does a little quarterback slide in over the 35-yard line. Billy Joe Tolliver coming off a separated shoulder is back to close to 100%, and they feel that he can get this Hail Mary pass downfield a little more readily than the injured Bobby Hebert. Jump ball, incomplete. Zeros are up, and the Washington Redskins, a 3-10 team trying to spoil the Atlanta Falcons' playoff hopes, have taken a 16-7 halftime lead. Hebert, who has been having an outstanding year, comes up with a miscue there on the final play that has Washington leading 16-7. And the Redskins will start this second half with the football. Norm Johnson ready to kick it off. Mitchell and Desmond Howard are the deep men, waiting for it at the Washington 6. It'll be Howard from the 10. Make it Mitchell. Brian Mitchell gets out to the 22-yard line. Statistically in the first half, 8 first downs for Atlanta, and they had the ball for 19-29.
Yeah, well, they doubled him the time of possession, but really it's been mistakes that we talked about. And in this second half, the Washington Redskins offensively are just going to have to control the football, short passing game, don't get out of sync, build on what they've had in the first half. And that means Mark Rippon hitting underneath stuff and deep comebacks.
Well, and those numbers would indicate the Falcons have not been able to get much pressure on Rippon so far in this football game. Ricky Irvins blasts out for about 5. If you joined us along the way and are wondering about Reggie Brooks, normally the starter, 901 yards rushing coming into the game. Brooks has been in Tulsa, his home, all week, and indeed has been back there for a few days each of the last 3 weeks because of a serious illness to his father. And so because he didn't practice all week long, they are going with Irvins, although Brooks is in uniform, has not been in the game as yet. 2nd and 5. Rippon for Howard, makes a good catch, then drops and recovers, but they call it incomplete.
Well, the ball was thrown behind him. Vinnie Clark broke on the ball, and Howard had to try to come back across his body to make the catch. He had his hands on the ball. A good receiver should make the catch, but it would have been a tough one for Howard.
Now, the word on A.J. Johnson, who scored that touchdown at the end of the half, is that he did indeed pull a hamstring, as you suspected, and is gone for the game. So they'll be missing him in the nickelback position. Ernest Biner, the lone setback now on 3rd and 5. And Biner breaks out, short of the first down, but very close. Depending on the spot, Pierce Holt pulled him down. And it will now depend on the largesse of the officials here as to whether the Redskins get a first, and this looks like a measurement.
They're going to call it 4th down.
So it is 4th down by about a half a yard. Buffalo and Miami in a shootout, and look at Houston at Pittsburgh. Roby standing at his 15-yard line. Tony Smith at the 25 of Atlanta. Roby just got that away. Good kick. Smith eludes the first one. Ran into his own man, or he might have got another 5 or 6 yards, but he takes it to the 32-yard line. First down at the 32-yard line of the Falcons. 16-7 Washington lead. Hebert with time, and off the mark there. A miscue between Hebert and Haynes. Haynes turned inside. Hebert threw it outside.
And that ball just took off on him, too. And Bobby and Haynes have their little talk right there at the end of the coming back to the huddle. But Bobby Hebert to date has had a tremendous year. You and I have talked about it, and the people around the league have said it. So what's been the difference for Hebert? And I think the biggest difference for Hebert is this is the first time that he's had this kind of receiver core. He's never had this much talent, and he readily admits that.
He's got a 2nd and 10 with 3 wides out to the right. Rising to the left. And they go to Pegram. Pegram, and play is whistled dead. May not have gotten that play off in time.
Delay a game. Offense 5 yards, still second down.
So Atlanta having some miscues here early in this second half, backing them up. We talked about the turnovers in the first half. They've given the ball away. They've given the ball away 31 times coming into this game. That's most in the conference. And it led directly to their 0-5 start, the number of turnovers they had early in the season. 2nd and 15, Atlanta, on the 27-yard line. And that's just a bad pass from Hebert, intended for Michael Haynes. Hebert suddenly looking a little shaky here. And you always have to wonder about the status of the elbow injury, which has plagued him all season long.
Well, he said that his elbow has felt the best it's felt in a long, long time. In fact, he hasn't had to give it as much treatment this week. He said it feels strong. It looked like 2 passes in a row now, the ball's taken off of him. When we saw him early in the season when his elbow was really bothering him, he was throwing it in the dirt. He couldn't quite get there.
And there's that turnover factor, as you can see. And they've been in the plus category. The 5-1 mark. Avoid Moise into the Redskins secondary. That's complete to Risen. Risen has a first down. So on a 3rd and 15, Hebert delivers to Andre Risen. Harold Green in the tackle.
Nothing wrong with that elbow. That ball was right on the money. Risen going down, knows where he has to go for the first down, and hooks up in the middle of the zone. Now the Redskins will go with the matchup zone. Watch Collins take Pritchard. Now and then the free man underneath would be Monty Johnson. Watch Pritchard. This is what you match up your zones. Andre Collins, boom, knock him off. Don't let him through, then run with him. And the second backer turns and looks for the inside man, which is Monty Coleman looking for Risen.
First down, Atlanta. They've got Ruther in as a blocker with Lyons. They're going to run it with Broussard. What a piece of running by Steve Broussard.
And that's a great tackle by Brad Edwards.
Eventually.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing you got to remember as a safety, you are the last man. You don't care how it happens. So watch, they're going to come with the run blitz up inside, try to take everything away. They get right behind Hinton. Look at the nice block by Hinton. Look, it's right in here. Beautiful job. Duke's back inside. Kennedy. Now watch Edwards. Do not let him get by you. Scratch him, bite him, anything. Make sure he goes down.
First down, Falcons at the 37 of Washington. Broussard inside again. Gets 4, maybe 5 on the play.
We talked about the speed of Broussard. What I've always liked about Broussard is his ability to make the quick cut inside. Now, he likes to bounce it out, but inside, from tackle to tackle, he gets in there. He sees things, and he reminds me of Dalton Hilliard. The guy just has that ability to make a quick little cut and get back outside.
67 yards on 12 carries. Broussard again, takes it outside. He's got running room. And a good job out there to prevent him from getting to the end zone by Carter, the rookie from Notre Dame.
Again, the Redskins get caught again in a run blitz. Now what happens with a run blitz? Now watch everybody. They're going to come up inside, everybody inside. Now Broussard, see, here comes the blitz. Take it away. Nice block. Now bounce it outside. Once you get caught in a run blitz and you're into the secondary, I mean, you're down to safeties and corners making the play. And fortunately for the Redskins, the corner and safety did make the play.
Carter alertly coming off the receiver he was covering to make the stop. But they're at the 8-yard line. First and goal, Atlanta. Broussard again. Takes it off tackle. Bowls his way down to about the 2. Second and goal from the 2 for Atlanta. Broussard again. Broussard. Touchdown. So the Atlanta Falcons keeping it on the ground behind the fine running of Steve Broussard, the 4-year man from Washington State.
Well, Broussard knew exactly, again, where he wants to go. Watch the right side right over here. This is where he wants to run. Get behind big Chris Hinton. Whitfield, watch the pinch inside. Nice right here. See, now here's the hole. Nice job by Whitfield of sealing the pinch off. And then he just beats Kurt Gavea to the hole.
Johnson, the point after. And so the margin cut to 2 points. That 2-point differential being the safety back in the first half. Johnson will kick it off. Mitchell and Howard, the deep men. It'll be Desmond Howard from the 9-yard line. And Howard to the 22. Wrapped up there by Roger Harper. And remember, this is doubleheader day on CBS Sports. We'll be going to the San Francisco at Detroit game to most of the country. Some of you will see the Buccaneers at the LA Raiders and Phoenix at Seattle. All ahead here on CBS.
No, it's funny, I spoke with Howie Long this week about that game with Tampa Bay, and he said, you know, it really scares me because we've always played to our level of competition. We went to Cincinnati and get beat. Now we're on a roll, but we got Tampa Bay coming here, so I'm scared, he said.
Anything can happen. Mark Rippon, 8 of 13 for 75 yards. And his return to the starting role would give us to Irvins. And Irvins gets out to the 25. So far they have stuck with Irvins at the running back position. Reggie Brooks on the bench because of the illness of his father, missing practice all this week. Atlanta, 217 total yards.
Yeah, the 98 that you saw right there, and they have the 16 points, and the reason was because of the turnovers and the mistakes that we saw, which gave them good field position.
We got a 2nd and 7 here. Rippon gets time. Hits Art Monk. Monk dropped by Vinnie Clark immediately, short of the first down. It'll leave 3rd and 2.
Yeah, but did you see the great concentration by Art Monk at the end of the play? Vinnie Clark came up and smacked him right in the chest, and the ball is over the top of Clark's head. He has the presence to keep those paws on it and come down with the catch.
Keeping his consecutive reception streak alive, the great veteran getting a chance to start here today, the last couple of weeks actually, ahead of Tim McGee. 3rd and a yard. Irvins stacked up. It'll be close.
It doesn't look like they're going to get it, and that is not Washington Redskin football. I mean, that just shows you that the offensive line of the Redskins, which has really dominated in years past, is just nothing. I mean, there's nothing there. They run to the left side. There's nowhere to run the football. And they end up having 7 guys. 1, 2, you see 4 here, 3, and then the safety. That gives you 8 men up. Now watch, there's no push. There's no push, and the push actually comes from the defensive line of the Falcons. They win the battle up front, so they win that 3rd down.
The old Hogs, they are not.
They're not even new Hogs right now.
Roby fields a low snap. Does a good job getting it off, but it's a short punt. Smith waving fair catch. Fought his way through traffic to make the catch. That was a good play by Smith. And good field position for Atlanta. Atlanta, good field position from their own 36-yard line. 33-yard punt after a low snap by Roby. Broussard takes it outside. First down, Atlanta to the 42-yard line. Hauled down by Gouveia and Brad Edwards.
Well, if it's not broke, heck, don't fix it. Now, they went right down the field before running the football. Now just hand the ball to Broussard. This time to the left side. Just pick your hole. Ruther does a good job on Andre Collins. And that gets him into the secondary. Picks up another first down. Look at the blocking. Everybody on somebody. Gives Broussard the opportunity to find the open road.
First down at the 45-yard line of Washington. Redskins by 2. 6:55 to go in the 3rd. Broussard goes to the right and picks up another 5 yards. Now remember, despite Washington holding the Jets to a 3-0 loss last week, they gave up 155 yards to John Johnson, the Jets running back, and were unable to hold the Jets on the ground at all. Atlanta seems to be working on the same formula here in the second half.
Broussard's got himself 125 yards already, 119 already. I mean, it's the best game he's ever had. And the thing is, this is not the red gun offense right now. They've gone with 2 tight ends, 2 wides, and 1 back. They're just going to pound the football.
Second down and 6. Broussard again. And he grinds it down about a yard short of a first down. For an NFL update, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Tim, and we'll take you to Milwaukee's County Stadium. Jim McMahon from 6 yards out to Chris Carter. And the Vikings looking to put a dent in the Packers' playoff aspirations. 14-10, Minnesota third. Tim and Matt, back to you.
Well, I tell you, Jim McMahon will give anybody nightmares. They've been struggling on offense, but you just never know with that guy in there.
Especially in the NFC Central.
That guy is a clutch football player. Third down, less than a yard here at the 35-yard line. Broussard up the middle has the first down. Hit by Brian Edwards, the safety.
Well, now, how do you counter what the Falcons are doing? Well, you come up with an 8-man front. You bring your safety, you sit them back, and you run them up at the last second, giving yourself an 8-man front. Edwards did that, made the tackle. And you're going to see, look, see here's 7 people right up here. At the last second, Edwards will come up and giving them an 8-man front. Right in the hole where he's supposed to be, but Broussard gets the first down. And that play, Kurt Gavea messed himself up, and now Rick Hamilton is in to replace him.
Rick Hamilton, the rookie from Central Florida, replacing the veteran Gavea. First down, Atlanta. Broussard again, and Broussard, big hole off tackle right. Gets about 8 to the 25-yard line. Monty Coleman finally pulls him down.
And Bob Whitfield just gave a nice NFL welcome to Rick Hamilton. Took him for about a 10-yard drive. Big Bob Whitfield got that big old head on him and just head-butted him. But the offensive line right now of the Atlanta Falcons, Ken, Kennedy, Dukes, Hinton, and Whitfield, they are dominating this game. They, in the second half, have completely taken over. And those are some big boys. You know, the offensive coordinator, Rod Dowhauer, and the defensive coordinator, Larry Peccatello, both told us that they felt that the Atlanta offensive line was one of the best in the league.
Broussard now 138 yards on 20 carries, and he has it again. Hit by his own man, Hinton, doing the blocking job, and bounced off him and got the first down.
They did it again. They come up, 2 tight end offense, 1 back, 2 wide receivers. So Larry Peccatello, the defensive coordinator of the Redskins, starting to commit more people. There's Peck right there. He's starting to commit more people to the front to try to slow it down.
Well, and the Redskins were hopeful that with the return of Bobby Wilson and Shane Collins, that they could shore up their defensive front. But so far, the picture has been pretty much the same as June Jones of the Atlanta Falcons directing that offensive game plan of Atlanta, just keeps pounding it away. Broussard again. And he skips for a gain of about 9. Hamilton makes the tackle, but not before he gets down to the 13-yard line. They just move it back to the 14.
Well, Broussard is on a roll. And they've committed to an 8-man front. The offensive line is still blocking people, still giving Broussard room to run, and he's just running away from people. Yeah, at this point, you're going to have to go to a 9-man front. And when you do that, I mean, look at it. Second half, I mean, it was even first half. Second half, they are just running that football.
And they finally give him a rest. He's breathing heavily. Pegram is back in. Here's a 900-yard rusher this year. And Pegram is stuck. Brad Edwards came up from the safety spot with Charles Mann, the defensive end. And they hold him to no gain.
Yeah, well, now they've started to go to almost a 9-man front. They commit 8 people. You can see this right here. They're committing all these people. Now, here's your 2 extras. Going to be the corners on the wide receivers. Now they're going to walk the safety, the second safety up to give you a 9-man front, so they're going to beat you with numbers. Now, what that does is put lots of pressure on your corners, and if they make that commitment with the safeties again, expect a little play action inside and go to the wide receiver.
They lost a yard on the play. Closer to 3rd and 2. Broussard came right back in after Pegram was stopped. And Broussard has a good hole, hits his own man again, and has the first down.
And they caught him in again, another blitz. Boy, Larry Piccatello and Richie Pettibone, and they're getting very aggressive. They're saying if our players aren't going to do it, heck, we'll make the scheme do it.
But it's not.
But it has not worked. You know, here's the thing. I think Richie Pettibone right now, you can see a huge difference there on first down. I think Richie Pettibone right now is playing with a deck of cards with only 40 cards in it. The other guy is playing with 52. If you have players, you got a good team. If you don't have players, you don't have a good team.
They got a first down at the 12-yard line of Washington. And Broussard hit in the backfield this time by Tim Johnson. So Johnson won a personal battle on that play and drops him back close to the 15.
Well, they ran a counter OT to Johnson's side, and the way to always beat the counter OT is to get pressure up inside. You're going to watch, he's just going to blow right up inside. You try the counter, and he just comes right inside and make the play. If you can get penetration against any kind of counter and trap and stuff like that, inside, you can mess it up.
10 consecutive running plays for Atlanta. That is not their usual style, to say the least. Now they go to the red gun. Second down from the 15-yard line. A lot of time for Hebert. There's the fade, and it's intercepted in the end zone by Carter. Second interception of the day against Hebert. And the drive is snuffed. So the score remains with 6 seconds left in the third. A 2-point Washington lead.
Tom Carter shows you why it's so hard to throw against a zone in a shortened field. Watch him up top. What they're going to do, he'll take away this underneath route by body position, and then he'll break. Because it's a short field, he can get to the corner, and Hebert is not a happy guy.
Good illustration, Matt, because the receiver had the deep back beaten. It was Carter ranging back to the way you described that created that pick, and he made a good play. Monk close to a first down, and we've reached the end of the third quarter with the score. Washington Redskins 16, the Atlanta Falcons 14. Well, Jerry Glanville quite properly said, you know, this is going to be a difficult battle for us here. We've never won up there. And this team is better than their record. Well, they're struggling as they begin the fourth quarter. They went 48 yards on 11 plays and wound up with nothing thanks to the interception by Washington's Tom Carter in the end zone. And so Mark Rippon takes over. He's 9 of 14, just 81 yards passing. They have a 2nd and 1 at their own 30-yard line. Irvin's dropped for a loss. Mel Agee, one of those two backup guys that became a starter, has played so well, picked up on waivers last year from Indianapolis.
Yeah, he's made a big difference. Mel Agee, number 68, right up top. He's going to come right up and make the play on Ricky Irvins, but what he's given them is size. They have not had size. You get guys like Tim Green, who weighs 240 pounds, kind of small for a linebacker. Well, Big Mel is 298. He's just a biscuit away from 300.
Math major at Illinois.
He understands those weight numbers.
That's right, yeah. Third down and 4. Rickon stumbled and just gets it off, and it's incomplete.
What a gutsy call. Jerry Glanville goes with a blitz.
Chuck
nice
Smith.
ball. It puts Chuck Smith right in the face of Rippon. Good coverage. Boy, I like that call. Now watch him.
Go ahead.
Yeah, watch him come out the outside. Works back in. Poor job. That's a terrible job by Ricky Sanders. That's terrible. If you are supposed to block somebody, then you spend your body and block it. You don't try to push the guy. He allowed Chuck Smith to come back underneath, force the play, and give him a 4th down.
So Roby standing at the 12-yard line. Kind of showed rush, and they didn't come with it. He gets a good kickoff. Backing Smith up to the 20-yard line. And Smith dropped the ball at the 25. Redskins have it.
Rick Hamilton with a big hit. Todd Bowles comes up with the ball. Reggie Roby hits a monster 53-yard punt. Tony Smith will work back up inside. Now watch Hamilton with the hit. And Bowles on the hit, and then Bowles comes down with the ball. An arm of Hamilton and the helmet of Bowles jarred the ball loose. And the rookie comes up with a play.
And Reggie Brooks into the ball game for the first time for Washington with a first down at the 25-yard line. Frank Wycheck in the I formation ahead of him. Brooks. Pulled down from behind by Mo Gardner. Reggie Brooks, we commented earlier, missed practice all week as he was attending to his very ill father down in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Notre Dame rookie with 901 yards rushing coming into this game. First carry of the day. Jumpy Geathers, a former Redskin, and Chuck Smith come in now on 2nd and long. So again, another Atlanta Falcon turnover. 31 coming into this game. 2 interceptions today. Rippon gets it off, and it's incomplete. Intended for Wycheck. He had Chuck Smith in his face.
That's 2 plays now that Chuck Smith has made when Rippon's tried to go naked on that boot. And the first time he got mismatched with Ricky Sanders, and he forced him. Now the second time they just tried to go naked completely. You can see him right up here. And he's going to come right outside. They'll go. He works off of Wycheck, trying to get a delay. Gets in the face and throws a bad pass.
3rd down. Ernest Biner in. Washington yet to make a 3rd down in 8 tries, turning it into a first. Looked like Rippon changed that one up. Gets some time. Deep for Monk, too far. Deion Sanders intercepts in the end zone.
There's a flag down
at the line of scrimmage.
But I got to tell you, I'm kind of disappointed in Art Monk right there. He never made a play back on the ball and allowed Deion Sanders to come down with an easy pick.
Monk may have thought the ball was going out of the end zone, and Sanders made a real good catch deep and kept his feet in to make sure that he had the interception in bounds.
Sanders had the coverage on Monk over the top.
7 interceptions on the season for Sanders, who missed the first 5 games.
We have a personal foul for a chop block on the offensive team. The penalty is refused. It'll be a touchback, Atlanta.
So Atlanta first down at their 20-yard line, trailing by 2 points. We're in the 4th. Broussard, they go right back to that attack, and it works again. He gets about 7. Andre Collins on the hit. 13:09 to go regulation time. Atlanta trailing by 2 on the safety following the high snap by Harper LaBelle over the punter's head. And so with a 2nd and 4, the Falcons at their own 25 and a lot of time remaining. 12:42. Pegram, not much for him. Palmer makes the tackle for an NFL update. Let's go once again to New York and Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Tim, in Milwaukee, Jim McMahon having a pretty good afternoon. This is his 3rd touchdown pass of the day, his 2nd to Chris Carter, 25 yards. And with 10:13 to play in the 4th quarter, the Vikings lead the pack 21-10. Tim and Matt, back to you.
Well, a big game in the NFC Central, and it's not a surprise to see McMahon have a game like that. When the money's on the line, coming back from yet another injury, everybody knocks him for his injuries. But when he's out there, boy, he makes things happen. 3rd down and a long 3. Huge play defensively for Washington. Hebert escapes the rush down the sideline for Rison, incomplete. And play was stopped anyway.
Yeah, the play
took too much time.
Yeah, it went down. Right as he snapped the ball, it was on 0.
Meanwhile, Rison and Darrell Green collided at the end of that play, and
Yards, still 3rd down.
Andre Rison assists Darrell Green in getting up, and apparently he's all right.
There's a little psychology going on right there. You know, Darrell's a little tired, and he gets up and he'll limp as much as he can.
56.
Did a nice job of defensive backfield work there by Andre Rison. And so now the psychology comes in. As he's walking with Rison, you make sure you limp. Oh, I hurt a little bit, because he knows that Rison's going to come right back and test him.
7 penalties, 2 interceptions. Atlanta hurting themselves. in this ball game. Got a bit of a break there. They could have had a 4th down if that play had just been an incomplete. Hebert again under pressure. It's going to be picked off by Coleman. To the 25-yard line of Atlanta.
Bobby Hebert had a huge play. If he could have gotten the ball there, he got hit by Tim Johnson from behind, and that smacked the ball. Watch Tim Johnson, 78, work inside. Here comes a blitz. Pegram gets picked up. Johnson has the presence. That was Sterling Palmer who came back and whacked him. But he had, watch Palmer, hits him. The ball's in the air. Monty Coleman, always around the football, comes up with an interception. He got a sack, an interception, a lot of big plays. Monty Coleman is playing like he's been in the league just for 3 years instead of 15.
On first down, Reggie Brooks, and nowhere to go. No gain. Here's Holt on the tackle.
Well, the defensive front of the Atlanta Falcons has played themselves a pretty good football game. They've not really given up that many yards, either passing or running the football. And the defensive line has done the job.
Jumpy Gethers comes in on the 2nd and 10. A little more than 10 now. Brooks the lone setback. Trying to get wide, can't do it. Got back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's all. Gethers made the tackle.
Yeah, they tried to go with an inside trap with the tight end Ron Middleton. And they came back inside, and he cut the man in the hole, and that made Brooks have to dance in the hole, allowed Jumpy Gethers to come back and make the play.
2 extra backs into the secondary of Atlanta on the passing down. 3rd down. And nearly 10. Count by Rippon. Somebody in his face.
Oh!
The ball is loose but incomplete anyway.
What a great read. Jesse Tuggle just made a great read, Tim. They were going to go with a quick screen, and he read it before it ever developed and ran right through the blocker. Watch 21, Ernest Binder. He's going to sit down. You look at the read. You see him coming? Runs right through the blockers, and that's a good play. That's a big-time play by Jesse Tuggle.
Darian Connor, the man with the first pressure, forcing Rippon to offload quickly. So a field goal try by Lohmiller from the 33-yard line. It'll be a 42-yard officially. 42-yard attempt. No good.
Not even close.
Lohmiller has struggled all season long. Just 12 of 21 coming into this game. We'll be back at JFK. Redskins cling to a 2-point lead. Tim Ryan with Matt Millen at RFK Stadium. 10:02 to go. Redskins by 2. Atlanta 274 yards total offense against 117 for the Redskins. However, they trail by 2 points. They have coughed it up 4 times. 3 interceptions and a fumble. And that is now 35 turnovers on the season by the Redskins, leading the conference. Second only to Houston in the league. Pegram on first down, and Pegram picks up 7.
Well, you know, you cannot win in this league when you turn the ball over. And Atlanta has 5 turnovers total. Washington with 2. All the points have come that way, but when you turn the ball over, look at this. So you have no turnovers, you win 84% of the time. 3+, only 21% of the time. The amazing thing is that the Falcons still are in this game and have a chance to win with the 5 turnovers.
And that 5th turnover, of course, the high snap that resulted in the safety against the punter, Alexander. Pegram runs into traffic, takes it back, and gets the first down. Eric Pegram. Good second effort. Trying to get to the right side. All plugged up.
Tim, I got to tell you that Eric Pegram, it looks to me like the coaching staff have been telling Eric Pegram all week long, look, we want to get outside. We want to get outside. So he's trying his best to get outside, but he feels most comfortable back inside. That time, He tried to bounce it. It wasn't there. And then he got back to where he loves to run between the tackles and turned it back in.
Broussard comes back in, and apparently it was just a cramp for Steve Broussard. He's got 154 yards. If Atlanta can pull out their playoff miracle, they've got a pair of dangerous running backs, Pegram and Broussard, and that's Broussard. Had he not tripped up, he would have easily had the first down.
He may have it anyway. Well, he really accelerates through the hole. What a terrific duo, these two, Broussard and Pegram.
They're going to give him about 9 and leave it second and a yard. And again, Broussard bothered by an apparent cramp.
Heck, 163 yards, a career high in rushes, 6.3 a rush. He's going off with cramps because they're running him right into the ground. The guy's tired. He's never run this much in his life.
Broussard has been, as we said earlier, for those of you who are not regular Atlanta fans or viewers, he's been used primarily as a backup wide receiver this year. Although he came as a running back out of college. Eric Pegram, of course, 928 yards rushing coming into this game. He's had an outstanding year, so Broussard's been just a backup. 2nd and 2. Mitch Lyons makes the strong side left. They go to Pegram. Pegram in the middle. Battles and gets loose for the first down into Washington territory. Pulled down by Edwards.
Well, you know what it looks like to me is happening right now to the defense of the Washington Redskins. What they're doing is everybody's trying to make the play. You have guys not taking care of their responsibility and staying at home. They're getting into the guy, getting rid of him, and trying to get right to the ball carrier. And what that does is open lanes. When you play good, sound, disciplined defense, everybody takes care of a gap and maintains the discipline, maintains that gap until the ball carrier comes to you. When you try to leave your responsibility and get to the ball, that creates holes someplace else.
Atlanta with a first down at midfield, trailing by 2, 7:19 to go. A lot of time for Hebert, goes to the sideline, coming back for it is Pritchard, and he has a first down. Out of bounds at the 33-yard line.
Boy, Pritchard just schooled Carter. I mean, he drove him way up the field and then came back, and he could have read a book by the time this ball gets there. Watch him work Carter right up the field, turn in. Now he thinks he's going deep. Now stop. Look, Carter goes right out of the picture. Look at this. He could read War and Peace by the time that ball gets there.
If he were so inclined.
Well, more like a Marvel comic.
Or the Bridges of Madison County or something a little more contemporary. First down from the 33-yard line. The blitz. Pegram trying to fight his way loose at the line of scrimmage. Went nowhere. Coleman in on it. Duvea. Wilson.
Well, Monty Coleman has played himself a very, very good football game. Now, what more can I say about the guy? I played with him. I watched him my whole career. You know, you watch the guy, and he was always brought in as kind of a specialist. He could run, he could cover, they'd bring him in, and he started off as a safety. He was only about 215 pounds, then he got up to 260 pounds. Now they shrunk him back down to about 245, but the one constant has been his ability to run.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Pressure on Hebert, and he'll eat that one. It is Al Noga with a sack. 4th of the day for the Redskins.
And I might say that's a very unexpected play from Al Noga, number 72. Watch him right here. I say unexpected because of all the free agents that they brought in this year. They feel that Al Noga has been the least productive of all of them. In fact, they were waiting for him. They never thought that he understood the scheme. They thought that he'd be a speed rusher, and they wanted more out of him. He just has not produced. But there, he goes untouched and makes a sack.
I was going to say, he didn't have to understand much of that scheme. He had a clear lane.
Yeah, don't block me, I'll get there.
3rd down and 15. Collins blitzing, and cut by Pritchard. Away from Coleman, and Pritchard close to a first down.
What a nice move by Pritchard on Monty Coleman. And he took him upstairs. Took the step upstairs and came back underneath, and Monty was tackling where he thought he would be. Here's the pressure by Collins. Now watch Pritchard on the other end. He runs that drag across underneath. Now here's Monty looking right. Look how he takes that step up and then comes back under. Now watch a great job of hustling by Kurt Gavea to set up the 4th down.
They stopped him 2 yards short of the first down, so Johnson will attempt from the 32-yard line. 42-yard attempt for Norm Johnson. He's missed only once all year. And he makes that. And the Falcons are in front by 1. 4:39 to play. Norm Johnson puts Atlanta on top 17-16. So they win all 3 of those games, and with a little bit of help, they could be a playoff team after an 0-5 start. And today they've tried everything possible to take themselves out of this game against a team they should beat. 5 turnovers, but they are now in front. Johnson's kickoff comes up at the 15-yard line. Desmond Howard trying to get wide, and he does.
Oh!
Only Johnson to beat, who pushes him out at the 45-yard line.
Well, this is getting fun. Heck, you got kickers making tackles and everybody getting blocks, and Desmond Howard making a big return at the end. Watch him pick up the blocks. There's 1 block. There's 2 by Coleman. There's 3. Todd Bowles. There's 4. And at the end, make the kicker push you out of bounds. Great field position.
48-yard line of Washington. 33-yard return for Desmond Howard. Redskins with 2 wideouts to the right. Brooks the lone setback. Brooks shakes off 1 tackle, turns it into a 5-yard gain. Connor had him in the backfield, couldn't hold on. This game presented by authority of the National Football League. And this CBS telecast intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Washington Redskins, and the National Football League is prohibited. And you might have to check with one other entity. We're not sure about that. 2nd down and 6. In Atlanta territory. Rippin deep sideline complete to Desmond Howard. First down to the 30-yard line. Vinnie Clark pushed him out.
Well, Desmond Howard is making some plays, and I think the reason is clear. Mark Rippin is throwing the ball. In the past, I'd see Howard get open a couple times. He still has a problem running away from people, but he does get separation, like I said, with the burst. Rippin understands that, sees that, and is taking advantage of it.
3rd catch of the day for Desmond Howard. And a first down at the 31-yard line of Atlanta. Loose ball. It's a forward pass attempt by Rippin. The sack by Chuck Smith with Jumpy Geathers right there, too.
Now Chuck Smith turned in another big play, and they're going to rely on the rookie Brooks to try to block and watch Smith come off the top corner. Brooks will be right on top. He just runs right by him. Hits the ball out of his hand. Now Pierce Holt has an opportunity, but shows the kind of hands that he has and drops it.
Good call by the officials and the forward motion of Rippin's arm. 2nd and 10 from the 31. Monk and Howard out to the left. Sanders on the wing right. Quick release. Sanders. Ricky Sanders, first down to the 15-yard line of Atlanta.
Nicely done by Ron Middleton and Ricky Sanders. I mentioned Ron Middleton because he cleared the way by running the route and driving the defender off the ball. Then Sanders came back underneath, cleared. Ball was right there for a first down.
Sanders taking himself out, coming off with a limp. Tim McGee in his first appearance in the game. Ernie Logan in defensively for an extra big guy for Atlanta. Rippin pumps right, goes left, and McGee's got nowhere to go. Good effort, turns it into about a 5-yard gain.
Well, I got to tell you, that's all Mark Rippin. Now, he's going back to Desmond Howard right now, and he's yelling at him. Now, look up top. He wants the quick right up top on Howard. And he doesn't get it, so he has the presence to stop. Look, he wants it right now. See, Howard doesn't see it, so he goes up. He has the presence to turn around, and Noel McGee is sitting down there in the flat, and he picks up a good 7 yards. So that's all Mark Rippon.
To the 7-yard line, 2nd down, a long 3. 3:12 remaining to play. Redskins can knock Atlanta out of the playoff, but a miscue here, and they have to take a timeout.
That was a good call by Rippon. Yeah, if he doesn't call the timeout, they get the penalty. He avoids it.
Ernest Biner, the running back. Wycheck, the blocker in front of him in the eye. Biner tripped up, but good effort. Biner, touchdown.
That was all Ernest Biner. That was pure effort, strength, power, everything that Ernest Biner embodies.
Pierce had him here, Matt. Couldn't hold him.
Now Pierce misses him, trips him up, but then look at the power on Harper. And Deion Sanders, with a lackluster effort in the end zone, allows Biner to get in for 6.
Miller for the point after. Line drive that just made it over the crossbar.
That was ugly.
That was an adventure.
That was an ugly kick, but a beautiful run by Ernest Biner. I mean, you could just see the pride in the man. He would not go down. He refused to, got the hand down, and just powered it over. Ernest Biner, this is an example of Washington Redskin power football. They come with a trap back inside. Now watch, he gets tripped, puts the hand down, gains his balance, gets back up, takes the shoulder to Harper. Now watch, Deion has a chance to stop him. Not a good effort.
So the 31-year-old veteran, Ernest Biner, puts the Redskins back on top, 23-17. Atlanta with 3:06 remaining. First touchdown of the year for Biner, who has been used in the red zone on 3rd downs primarily this year.
I like that call by Rod Dowhauer. You remember the last time they were down there on the goal line, they followed Frank Wycheck every time. Well, that time they ran Wycheck opposite of where the trap went.
Sanders, Deion Sanders breaks 1 tackle, gets out to the 28-yard line. Todd Bowles on the tackle, a flag on the play. Referee Larry Nemmers will make the call.
We have delay on the receiving team. 12 men in the field when the ball was kicked.
Wow, that's a kind of a penalty you should never have. An extra man on the specials team. Now, the one reason for that could be that today 2 members of that team, Jeff Donaldson and Ron George, are inactive with injuries, and therefore they've got some new personnel.
Well, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3. My telestrator's not working. Well, they say there's 12 out there. So, too bad I can't help you right now.
Sanders getting it to the 28. Special teams coach Bobby April upset with that, and the only thing I can think of is the fact that they do have 2 new men involved who had to fill in today with 2 regulars out with injuries, 2 regulars from the special team. It looked to me like they got to the 28-yard line, didn't march anything off. First down, Atlanta. Drew Hill's first catch of the day, good for about 4, hit immediately by Darrell Green. Now they change it into a 6-yard game with the forward progress. Atlanta's never won here at RFK, including a playoff game in 1991. Early movement, probably Whitfield. drawing over Al Noga with a false start.
Right now, with Atlanta throwing the football.
False start, number 70, offense, 5 yards, still second down.
Yeah, with Atlanta throwing the football, they're playing into the strength of the Washington defense. This is what Washington has always done well, matched up very well with the run and shoot. All game long, they've been beating them, pounding the football, run, 160 yards for Broussard. Now they have to throw the football, and Washington defends them very well.
2nd and 9. Hebert for Drew Hill again, and Hill out of bounds at the 37, short of the first down by a couple.
Heck, that almost looked like a replay from first down.
It did. It'll be 3rd and about 1.5 yards. Atlanta with 3 timeouts remaining, 2:25 on the clock. They need a converted touchdown to keep their playoff chances alive. Washington showing the pride that Richie Pettibone said they were playing for today. Pressure again, and Hebert sacked. The ball is loose. It'll be Atlanta ball.
Sack number 5 for the Washington Redskins. Nice call by Larry Peccatello. He goes man up all over, and then they bring the blitz up inside. Here comes Gouveia. There's the pressure by Noga on the outside. Again, Whitfield doesn't get to him. Noga gets the sack.
And Hebert did hold on to the ball when it got spun around. I thought it came loose and he recovered, but he held it.
Yeah, well, the last 3 games, Washington's only sacked the quarterback twice. Today, they come up with 5. Pretty gutsy calls by the defensive staff. Larry Peccatello, the assistant head coach, acting defensive coordinator, along with Richie Pettibone. What I liked about that last call is they took Pritchard, a big-time receiver, and they matched him up with Monty Coleman. Heck, look, Larry Peck, he left. There's nobody there. He doesn't even want to see how this thing ends. Peck left. So they put the pressure on Monty Coleman on the 3rd down, and he comes through. Coleman's played a huge game today.
Atlanta's gone for it on 4th 14 times this season and made it 8. That's a pretty good number. They need 5 yards to keep it alive. Blitz. Loose ball. Coleman with it. Touchdown, Washington.
Sacks, an interception, and a touchdown. He's 36 years old, and he's playing like he's 26 years old. Monty Coleman's my hero. I gotta tell you, the guy's my hero.
Well, that's a brilliant display of what Richie Pettibone just kept talking about. We're playing for pride. There's a guy who doesn't know any other way to play. Jim Hannafin greets him at the sideline. Even the offensive coaches applauding the defensive players. Lohmiller for the point after. 2:11 to go, and the Washington Redskins appear to have dashed the playoff hopes of the Atlanta Falcons. They needed to win all 3 remaining games. They've had an incredible turnaround from an 0-5 start, but they have never won at RFK.
Well, you're going to see Coleman come off the top. Nobody gets there. Pegram has to come. And then Sterling Palmer, with the pressure, separates the ball. And then Monty Coleman with a nice cut inside. And then it's all the speed of Coleman. You're not going to catch him. He runs as well as any linebacker in this league.
29-yard return for Coleman. Sterling Palmer, the rookie from Florida State, has been doing such an outstanding job getting a chance to play with the injury to Shane Collins. And they've got themselves a fine prospect in that young man. Bobby Hebert, who has had a brilliant season, has just had nothing but problems today against the Washington Redskins. .2:11 to go.
And they were going to have to be mistake-free, and that was the difference today. They were not mistake-free. Washington comes up with big plays at the end with blitzing, some very aggressive calls by the defensive people, and then Monty Coleman turns in just an awesome game.
Six turnovers by the Falcons. Washington taking advantage of them. Deion Sanders will bring it from well deep in the end zone. And he is pulled down at the 13-yard line by Frank Wycheck. So Atlanta's last gasp, literally 2:03 remaining.
Really, the other thing that hurt Atlanta was the big return. And they get back with that Desmond Howard return out to the 47-yard line. Norm Johnson pushed him out of bounds, and that gave him the great field position, the short field to go, and the 6 points.
(30-17) Redskin lead. Much of the crowd not any longer here, and Hebert takes a whack. Pegram gets a couple. And again, it's Sterling Palmer with the rush. And all right now is miracle time for Atlanta. They have a second down and 8, down 30-17. And again, Whitfield pulling back, threatened by Noga, and another false start charge.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 70, offense, 5 yards, still second down.
1:58 remaining to play. 6 Atlanta turnovers, 37 on the season. And turnovers today.
23 points off the turnovers.
Yep. That's been the killer. Atlanta's had the ball for 38-43 to only 19 minutes and 6 seconds for Washington. Hebert hanging in there, has to go to the short man. That is Sanders. Deion Sanders gets to the 20-yard line. It'll leave 3rd and 3 for a first down. 1:44 and ticking.
Well, it's funny. Last week I spoke with June Jones, the offensive coordinator, and talked to him about this Washington defense. And he said, you know, I think we're going to be a little bit better prepared because what Washington has done to us, teams have been trying to model and take advantage of our passing game. So we should be on top of it. But I think what happened today is Richie Pettibone and Larry Peccatello and the defensive staff of the Redskins have come up with another page, and it'll be studied again and copied.
I think they just kind of let everything fly. You know, that seemed to be what they were doing. Just all kinds of pressure from every possible angle. It's obviously you could pull out all the stops when you're 3 and 10. It paid off today. Doubleheader action lies ahead, don't forget. The big game, the 49ers at Detroit. That's next on CBS Sports. Hebert on first down, and nowhere to go. He is buried. Good coverage downfield. 7 sacks today with 1:20 to go. An 0-5 start, an incredible turnaround, a rush for the playoffs that is blunted here at RFK by the stubborn Redskin team taking advantage of 6 turnovers. And they blitz again, and Hebert gets it off, incomplete, nearly picked off by Andre Collins.
Yeah, Collins should have had that one right through his hands. Looked like Hebert was trying to throw it to Andre.
Gotta get the first down.
Risen with that shoulder injured last week against San Francisco. Unable to work during the week. Hebert sideline for Risen there, and it is knocked away from behind. Todd Bowles, Darrell Green, pardon me, 28. Knocking the ball out of the midsection of Andre Rison. Minnesota defeating Green Bay 21-17. Vikings hope still alive. Houston whipping up on Pittsburgh in the fourth quarter at Pittsburgh. Jason Buck comes in at right defensive end. This is the 4th and 14. Hebert for Haynes, and Haynes makes a fine catch for a first down. Carter made the tackle. 59 seconds left. They get out to the 45-yard line of Atlanta. And the Redskins, with an apparent victory today, will be in Dallas next week. Cowboys still battling with the Giants for the NFC East title. Both of them are in the playoffs. Risen for about 9. Now Boyd Mays on the coverage, pushed him out.
Well, and with Green Bay losing today, that's an even bigger game for Detroit.
Yes,
they have a chance to take over that lead.
Minnesota is now at 7-7, as are the Bears, and Green Bay is 8-6. Detroit at 8-5. Hebert close to going over the line of scrimmage for Deion Sanders, incomplete.
And that's good. Two of the best corners in the league going against each other.
Darrell Green on the coverage.
Well, one thing, Deion Sanders is not going to beat him with speed. And then when the ball's in the air, just who is going to make the play? And on this one, Darrell Green makes the play. Look at that, jumping up, knock it out of the way. Darrell Green has had a Pro Bowl year. And he doesn't know if he's going to make the Pro Bowl because, you know, they obviously have not been doing very well this year. But he's showed up every week. He's played well week in and week out. And he probably deserves the Pro Bowl.
33 years of age, one of the many 30-plus players on this Redskin team, many of whom are not likely to be here next year. This is Deion Sanders, and he's tripped up at the 40-yard line by Kurt Gouveia. 35 seconds left in the hurry up. And they stop the clock with 29 seconds.
He audibled at the line of scrimmage. He allowed them to do some things they hadn't been able to do with Gannon. I thought he played pretty well. 13
of 23, 129 yards for Rippon. Hebert going deep to the corner, intended for Risen, broken up again by Darrell Green. Green's had to do a lot of running here in this second half.
That's something he does well. Not afraid to do. And he loves a challenge. You know, of all the players in the National Football League, there's only about maybe 3 or 4 guys I let my kids cheer for. Darrell Green's one of them.
Well, and he's a special guy, too. He's opened an after-school learning center in Northeast Washington just this past week with hopes of making the facility an educational program for youth that might be a model for the rest of the country. Free of charge to about 100 kids in the surrounding Brookland neighborhood 6 days a week. And that's the kind of a guy who's a fine citizen in addition to being a great player. Hebert going deep to the corner for Risen. And Danny Copeland is there to intercept it at the 1-yard line. 14 seconds left. The 8th turnover by the Falcons today. 4 interceptions suffered by Bobby Hebert. Of course, that one he just had to throw it up and hope for the best. Monty Coleman, what a game he had, as Matt Millen has recounted today. This dedication and skill level and the pride that that great veteran has. And so does this guy here. He did all he could do, Bobby Hebert.
Tough day for Bobby. But he's had himself a great, great year.
First down at the 1 for the Redskins, just to let the clock down with 14 seconds left. Atlanta's playoff hopes dashed here in RFK Stadium, where they have never won in 10 tries. And so for Matt Millen, this is Tim Ryan saying so long from RFK Stadium. And the final score, the Washington Redskins 30, the Atlanta Falcons 17. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after these words from your local station.